Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. If you're watching this on Patreon, please consider supporting me. But otherwise, outside of YouTube, I am going to be posting these recaps on Patreon. So to start, I actually really wanted to talk about Justin Sun's Steemit situation. Let's actually give a little bit of background behind the situation because the fault doesn't completely just fall on Justin Sun, CZ, and Hubi. The people, the Steemit witnesses themselves do have some blame to this. What happened is Justin Sun bought Steemit for X amount of dollars, not really sure how much, and the Steemit people wanted to actually move, or the Steemit witnesses, they wanted to actually move to deprive Justin Sun of his coins or lock him out of his coins. They didn't want him to have so much power. So they actually tried to bind together to vote him out of some of his coins, obviously. And of course, Justin Sun didn't like that. So he has bigger guns. So he essentially tapped his connections at CZ Binance, and of course he and Hubi, and also Polynex, which he actually owns. And a lot of people actually leave their coins on those exchanges. Um, and this is one of the big problems of distributed proof of stake, by the way. If your voters just don't care, they don't really care if the big exchanges make their votes for them. And I would say that's probably true for like 90% of people or more, because the real crypto purists are probably like less than 5% of the entire audience. And most people are okay just leaving their coins on Binance or Hubi, which actually leaves it open for those coins, those exchanges to actually use those coins to vote things in their way. So Justin Sun did a little bit of bribery, teamed up with Hubi, Binance, and Polynex, obviously, and they actually had more voting power than many of the witnesses. They voted in many of their own witnesses, kicked the old witnesses out. Obviously, that unlocked Justin Sun's coins that he was actually supposed to have control of anyways once he bought the company, and it's basically excluded the witnesses that were trying to kind of lock Justin Sun out of his coins. So it was it was a lot of internal struggle, and Justin Sun obviously won because he had the bigger guns. Like I said, this is a huge problem with proof of stake altogether. Proof of work kind of has the same issue, honestly, if you think about it, if everything like gets gathered in one pool. But DPoS, we've seen this with EOS, we've seen this with Tron itself, and this is just one of those things that's really hard to overcome. Ethereum might actually run into the same issue, and I think Cardano is doing as much as they can to not run into this issue by saying that, like, after stake pools gets to a certain saturation, that pool's actually going to be worth less and less in terms of people who are staking in it. So not everyone actually gets put into one pool. Cardano is actually thinking this out much better than Tron or EOS, which may have not been the intention of Tron and EOS overall. It might have been intended to consolidate everything into a couple of pools, so their founders, Justin Sun and Dan Larimer, can actually have all the power. Cardano's built entirely differently, and after this fiasco, I'm actually sort of beginning to believe in like Cardano's philosophy of getting this proof of stake thing right, getting the governance right, so like stuff like this doesn't happen in the future, and maybe they'll actually have a much better working distributed proof of stake model. So that's what I wanted to talk about with Tron and the Justin Sun situation. It is an inherent fault with proof of stake, but not so much within the technology, but it's just because people don't really care. And most people, like, you have to build your crypto in mind with the fact that people are going to buy it, and most of those people are not really going to care about the governance or the future of the coin. They're only there to make money. If you build it with the governance system with that in mind, I think you'll be successful. If you live in this ideal world where like all your investors really care about the future of your coin, you're not going to succeed because that's just not going to be true. So that is kind of what I have to say about Justin Sun and this whole situation. The second thing is DNVGL is going to invest $200 million in startup companies over the next 3 years, and VeChain is number one on that list. DNVGL, we already know, has invested a lot in VeChain, but they're going to invest even more in VeChain. So that should give you some confidence of what's going on with VeChain. VeChain, unlike Tron, is kind of like only semi-decentralized. Their authority nodes are run by 101 large enterprises, partners, and stuff like that. So they'll actually stop VeChain from doing something like that if it goes against their interests. Which a lot, like, if they try to just like VeChain just tries to hostilely take over the chain, not going to go over too well with them. So like in that instance, it's actually better than what Tron and EOS has. So that's the news for VeChain right now. DNVGL is going to invest a lot more into them. Third thing is YouTube has continued to ban, strike certain crypto channels. I do actually think these are basically like their bot being really stupid, because we're all getting kind of struck for the same thing. We basically get struck as soon as we start some kind of live stream, because they think it's a scam live stream. Their bot algorithm can't tell the difference between a good live stream, a real live stream, and a scam live stream. So they just try to like block everyone, which is dumb. They should really just get rid of this bot because it's stupid. But I guess they're kind of lazy and they don't actually want to have like actual humans look at this. They wanted to depend on their stupid bot, which is retarded. So hopefully this goes away sooner or later, but right now it's just like really bad. The other thing is like the whole economy overall. Right now, these Fed rate cuts and this easing is really not going to work. So it's probably going to keep dipping for a while. Like honestly, this like at this point, I thought I'd be kind of like in a buy-in mode for crypto, but right now I'm really not in a buy-in mode for crypto at all. I'm definitely more in a damn, this really sucks thing for crypto. Because right now for some reason maybe it's the whales, they're trying to make it mirror the stock market or something else, or maybe people just don't have much confidence in the markets overall. I think this completely disrupts or like destroys the premise that as the market goes into a recession, cryptocurrency will rise up, because that's really not what we're seeing. We're seeing that crypto is not a hedge for the market, and I don't really think that Dow is really going to recover anytime soon. It'll have its ups and downs, but I don't think it'll really recover anytime soon, because this is just an external pressure, external force, and it's a large one. I don't really think like no, the Fed can actually do too much about it. Lowering the rates does not seem to be working. They lowered it today, and it dropped still by 950 points. So that is the recap for today. Let me know what you think, like and subscribe, and if you're watching on Patreon, please consider supporting me. Thank you and have a nice day.